Thank you for joining us today. I'm Zoltán Büsi, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Redmenta. Joining me today, Agnes and Joel. Agnes is our educational expert at Redmenta. She's responsible not just for doing researches, managing researches, building robust knowledge base on AI, but also helping us design AI product. And we also invited Mr. Joel Arda. He's the assistant principal of the St. Michael's Catholic College in London. And he's not a Redmenta employee. We invited him to share his wisdom, share his knowledge about AI in education, and most of all, he is the change management expert in his school, and I believe he has great ideas how to implement AI solutions in an educational institution. After my intro, Agnes is going to do a 30 minutes demo, and then Joel will follow with a 15 minutes sharing his wisdom. And then we will have a Q&A question. So please, if you have any question, make notes, and we can discuss after that. Let me start with that at Redmenta, we believe education is a powerful force. It's capable of overcoming the humanity's most tenacious challenges. And only educators can tame this force. They are the ones who can see the potential shining in every student's eyes, the spark that ignites curiosity. They are the guiding hands that nurturing dreams and shaping a better future for the world. But moving beyond the one-size-fits-all education system and creating an impactful, personalized learning environment is incredibly challenging. So at Redmenta, we develop technology that empowers educators and supercharge their impact for greater good. Because we need aspirational teachers. We need the legendary teachers. Without them, humankind is losing its battle. To make you inspire students, we build AI assistants that saves time by creating interactive content, evaluating the students' performance with rubrics, and adapting new activities based on the students' performance data, based on the prior evaluation. These three steps enable personalized learning environment, empowering teachers to move beyond the one-size-fits-all approach. Our approach is rooted in a human-centered design, which means the teacher remains in full control. The decision and the responsibility are always in their hands, in most of your hands, in the 43% of the room. Agi, do you want to continue?
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we are empowering teachers, now I'm empowering my laptop. So, welcome everyone. I'm glad many of you joined today in this session. And after Zoltán talked about our mission and what we think about education, I will show you how you can do it on Redmenta and what we develop in practice in order to empower our teachers. So now I will just... So, this is the home page of Redmenta. This is what you will see after you logged in. And from here, now it looks a bit empty, but after you created a lot of content, it will be, oh my god, so many magic happens here. Okay. So yeah, the digital technology is not always very easy, as we know, but this is why we are here, to learn about technology. So, if you want to create something on Redmenta, you can do it by clicking on the Create New button at the top of the page. And of course, you can create activities manually by yourself if you wish. But today, I will show you the quickest and the most efficient way to create content with Redmenta with the help of AI. So, if you want to start generating content, just choose this option. And this will lead you to the AI Assistant Hub. But what is an AI assistant? So each assistant on Redmenta designed to support specific tasks. So based on what you would like to create, you can choose from various assistants in the hub. So for example, you can create reading comprehension, you can create practice tasks, you can create a test, a quiz, self-study materials, or even chatbot tutors. So you can choose from various categories here. And based on what you would like to create, you can choose the appropriate assistant. So for now, let's choose a simple activity to create. I will choose the quiz. So if you want to start creating something with the help of the AI assistant, just choose Chat with AI Assistant. And here, you can see that you can set up your own AI assistant. It means that, as Zoltán mentioned, we believe in a human-centered AI for education. So we want to give the opportunity for teachers to actually personalize the AI and have a trustworthy, reliable AI for educational purposes. And how we can do that? So here, you can set up your assistant. And if you want the generated activities to align with a special curriculum, you can choose it here. So you can choose from various curriculums, countries here from this list. And the list is constantly growing. So you can choose your country. Now I choose France. I don't know if anyone's from France, but let's say now you can choose the subject. You can then choose the student's level, and then the language of instruction. But if aligning with a curriculum isn't necessary for you, you can also proceed without a curriculum, and you can still choose the subject, the grade, and the language of instruction. So these pieces of context information is very important when we are talking with AI and creating something for educational purposes. In the next phase, we can upload our own materials for the AI assistant to rely on when it generates the content itself. So, for example, you can upload your own notes as PDFs, documents, videos, images, even videos. So you can provide many sources for the AI to rely on. And now I will upload my own notes about artificial intelligence, because let's stay relevant in today's topic. And so you can upload the source. You can also choose to be shown in that worksheet if you want to have it. And I will provide some context information to make sure that the AI understands what I would like to create, a quiz. And after providing all the necessary information for our AI assistant, we can start chatting with the AI assistant itself. So what is happening now is we send everything to our AI assistant. And why is my laptop frozen again? I will just refresh the page. And so what is happening now, what will happen is actually the AI, oh my God. Okay, so I upload it again. And the AI comes up with a first idea of what the worksheet can look like. So the assistant will generate an outline which is only the draft of the worksheet itself. So it's not the final version of the worksheet. It's just the draft but we can still modify, we can customize the way we would like to have it. So as we can see, there are many different tasks, and it's still generating the quiz questions, and it's still just creating the tasks, and that's it. So this is the first idea of our AI assistant. We can go through it, and we can suggest modifications to the AI assistant and change it accordingly. So for example, I can say, shorten it to 4 tasks and add a funny, creative task at the end. Let's say, because I want to do these modifications. And after that, the assistant will come up with the second idea. So actually, if you are familiar with ChatGPT, this is kind of the same talking, brainstorming process together with the AI, because we don't want to provide an AI that works instead of you, but with you and brainstorming together. So, okay, create a funny meme about AI taking over the world. Wow. Okay, sounds like a compliment. Okay, so this is our quiz, and if we are totally satisfied with it, we can just click on Bring It to Life, which means we convert this draft into a live worksheet. And the assistant will create the interactive worksheet itself. And after it's done, it will be ready to share and complete by your students. So this is also can be used then. And that's it. So this is the worksheet we created in just a few minutes. And you can still edit it if you want to. You can then share it with your students, and then you can, of course, evaluate your students' performance. And it means that after you created the worksheet, you can still have the option to modify it. And here, in the edit menu, let me show you a very exciting feature that Zoltán already mentioned. This is the rubrics. So here, in the evaluation settings, you can add rubrics to your worksheets. We think it's a very important step in the world of online assessments, because when it comes to online assessment, mostly the scores and percentages what the platforms are using. And personally, I think it's more beneficial if we provide a wider tool of assessment tools for the educators all over the world, because this way we can maximize the potential of the technology. So you can create a rubric 3 different ways. You can customize it here, you can upload it as a file even, or you can generate one with AI. So if you choose to generate one with the AI assistance, so the AI not only can generate worksheets, but only like a rubric. If you start, it got the data from the worksheet, and it will generate a rubric for me, but I can still customize, and I can modify it if I would like to. And I totally understand if you are a teacher and you already have your own rubrics. So it means that you can still upload it to the worksheet, and it works like here you can upload it as a file. So let me show you. Now I upload it, and this is how it will appear as an interactive rubric, can be used for assessment. So we have our worksheet and the rubric in place. So now let's see how we can share it with our students in a very short and efficient way. So if we go to the share menu, we can here set the sharing level to anyone on the internet, for example. So in this way, your students don't need to register at all. This is the simplest way. And it means that anyone who gets the link can get the worksheet and complete it. But how they can get the link? You can copy the full link and paste it to the desired platform, or you can share it via a QR code, what we really like. And now I would like to call you an activity. So if you would like to, just scan this QR code. Let's have some activity here, and let's see how Redmenta looks like from this perspective of the student, and complete this quiz about artificial intelligence. So you can scan this QR code, and if everything's good, then you will see a worksheet. But please let me know if someone cannot see the worksheet itself or something is not working, because as we could see, the internet is a bit unstable today here, but let me know if you are ready. So you can start completing it. I will leave it here. I will also complete it, and you can see how Redmenta looks like from the student's view and how they can complete these tasks. And of course, you can test your knowledge about the artificial intelligence, because this is why we are also here today. So, if someone did not scan the QR code, I will show this on the screen, not with the correct answers, so you can see how it looks like. So when clicking on start, you can see the different tasks, and you can just click on the correct answer and then continue to the next task itself. Okay, so after you completed it, you can click on the summary, where you can check all the tasks you completed, and then you can click on submit, and this is when you or your students actually submitting the worksheet, and the teachers can start working with the results. Hooray! That's great. Okay, so time is up. You can still working on it, but I will continue because we don't have so much time. So, if we now finished our first phase, which is actually creating the content, and now, as a next step, let's see how we can evaluate the student's performance with the help of AI. So to do that, we can go to the Evaluate menu, where we will see the students list. So all students who submitted the worksheet. Wow, so many of you. Don't worry, I don't want to show anyone on the screen, so no worries, I will show my beautiful performance, so no one will hurt. So this is the interface you will see. This is the rubric we created before, and the closed-ended questions are evaluated automatically. But what about the open-ended responses, like a drawing or an essay, like this beautiful drawing by me? So we can ask the AI, and also the rubric. We can ask the AI evaluator to actually help in evaluating the student's performance, even the open-ended responses, such as video recordings, video responses, essays, or drawings, mind maps, so all these kind of tasks. And wow, that's a beautiful performance by myself. I am the AI expert. Okay, so yes, as we can see, the AI gave 0 scores to my drawing, and it said that your answer does not meet the task instructions. The image you provided is a simple smiley face and does not address the theme of AI taking over the world. But keep trying, your creativity will shine through, so it actually gives some motivation. So you can modify all comments and scorings, because the final say is always the teachers, as we mentioned, so you have the option to do that. And the AI also wrote a summary about the student's performance, which highlights the strengths and the weaknesses of this worksheet. I think the weaknesses were stronger in this worksheet. You also have the option to edit it, and as well as a rubric. And if you are totally ready with the submission, you can approve it, and this is the time when you send it to the student. So before that, they cannot see any comments or any evaluation, only after your approval. And that's cool. We evaluated, okay, but what is the last step? So create, evaluate, and adapt to students' performance. So on Redmenta, you can create adaptive learning materials on individual and group level as well. Now, let me show you how you can generate personalized learning for one student, for me in this case. So here you will see the generate personalized learning option. And if I choose it, the AI will analyze the completed worksheet and the written summary and will come up with a development plan of what were the areas that needs more improvement. And we can approve it, or we can say that we want another area to focus on in the next worksheet. So it's a deep analysis of the student's performance. After that, we can choose the type of activity we want to give for the student based on the strengths and weaknesses. So we can keep the current worksheet, but we can choose another one, for example, a role-playing journey. And if I choose that one, now I chose the role-playing journey, it will generate the new outline with the new tasks, what I can also bring to life and what I can also share with my students. So this is how the adaptive learning cycle continues, and I can also make modifications if I want to. And on a group level, it's kind of the same process, only the thing is that in the evaluate we need to choose the adaptive group, and here we can choose the students we want to include. So we can choose now, for example, everyone. And if we choose the students, then the AI will analyze the performance of all students and provide the common strengths and weaknesses and provide learning material for these students, which means that you can do the group level differentiation with the help of Redmenta as well. So in short, now you have 1 month to try how to create content, evaluate students' performance, and adapt to students' unique needs with the help of Redmenta AI. I showed how it works, but today we have our teacher, Joel, who will share his real-life stories on how Redmenta can be used in classrooms. So, Joel?
My presentation.
Yeah, for sure. It's just...
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know that you come from far and wide, and did I hear Chester? As one of the places, one of the locations. So I know that you come from far and wide, and thank you for coming along to this conference. So I am from St Michael's Catholic College, and we are based in London, not very far away at all. And I'm Joel Larder, a teacher and assistant principal in a state secondary school. So let's just go through just a little bit of a journey, really. So St Michael's College is obviously near London, or in London, should I say, and we're approaching about 1,000 students in the age range of 11 to 18. Now, the context of our school is that the deprivation is the highest quintile nationally. So 33% of our students, for example, are eligible for free school meals. So I think I've really connected in the sense with Redmenta, and I thank Zoltan and the Redmenta team for inviting me today, because I did meet them at Bett last year, and it was great to be able to find out about an education package which was going to be able to help students of all abilities and backgrounds to be able to make progress inside and outside of the classroom. And so we are a Google reference school. We use Google Classroom. So after the pandemic, we had every single teacher using Google Classroom very consistently, and Redmenta was very helpful for that. We also have a one-to-one laptop program, which we have a kind of varied model as to how we get access to laptops to every single student. And that's been a bit of a journey in itself, but that's a whole other presentation altogether for another time in Bett, I suspect. But our focus is here today in terms of Redmenta, and the first and foremost is, apart from the phone ringing, is that I'm always a teacher. And I'm a teacher of computer science, and I've been using Redmenta to support adaptive teaching, as Zoltan has said, and it's about having the opportunity for young people to be able to make progress. And I use it for real-time assessment, informative assessment, and for the people who are not necessarily used to educational jargon, formative assessment is informally just assessing where students are at with a topic, maybe with a little bit of a quiz, and Redmenta is really helpful for that purpose. And I'm a teacher of computer science, so I do kind of move forward as much as I can with the use of technology. But as with any kind of change, and you introduce something new, and especially to teachers, and you always take things with a pinch of salt as to how you can introduce something, and you want to know it's going to be able to make an impact, you want to know that it's going to make a difference. And I did, in all honesty, actually, Zoltan, I had some skepticism. I'm always a healthy skeptic of introducing technology into the classroom to see impact before it, because teachers are very busy people. Workload is the biggest and most significant international reason as to why teachers leave the profession. I want to make sure that for myself and my colleagues that time is well used in the classroom in terms of preparation. So I did have that healthy amount of skepticism about Redmenta, if I am absolutely frank with you. But what did I use it for? I think Aggie has already talked about the various demonstrations of using Redmenta in various settings, and I had just decided in terms of where do you start in a program like this, is to keep the focus very narrow. So I just wanted to use it for quizzes, to do things that would normally take me quite a long time to do, and to shave the time off in terms of the preparation. So Aggie's already done the demonstration. I don't need to demonstrate it again, but it's just to tell you that I've just focused first and foremost in terms of just making my quizzes. And what I really like about Redmenta is different from a Google form, for example, is that there's this timer, and when you have got that timer that's over there at 3 minutes, it puts a time pressure for students to be able to finish off that activity at speed, and I really like that, because then it just means that the pace and progress that students make is going to be much higher as a result. So with that, the customization in Redmenta means that I can set, for example, that the students only have one attempt on the quiz, and I want them only to have one quiz because I don't want them to take it multiple times. Because I found that out quite early, because the first time that I tried it and I didn't switch that setting off, all the students got 100%, which is, I'd love to think it was a reflection of my teaching, but it was actually a reflection of Redmenta's setting. So that's my own learning lesson straight away when we're moving forward with this. So you're always going to come across some challenges when you're introducing technology, and it's all part of the journey. And like I say, you have that healthy skepticism. You have those moments where you kind of reflect and you improve and you keep moving forward and you keep trying in the knowledge that there would be an impact and some difference, which I'll talk about later. What I really like about Redmenta is that we are a Google reference school, and the integration is quite seamless when it comes to using Google Classroom, for example. So teachers in school using, if you're using Teams or you're using, your Microsoft kind of economy, or you've got Google Classroom, then it's great for integration in this way. And so here's an example of a class. I think Aggie did it with this magnificent class. Obviously, giving you the AI quiz, and her masterpiece got 0. I don't know what happened there, but who knows? But in terms of when I look at the results, and I think when Zoltan talks about it's human first about teachers, is that for me getting these results there and then in the classroom, I am already looking at which students have got the lowest number of marks. So sadly, one student's got 2 out of 21, another one has got 8 out of 21. I want to bring them to the front of the class so I can do some work with them at the board. I say to the rest of the class, you did absolutely fantastically well. Right, okay, you go on to Google Classroom, you go and carry on with these activities, because I know that you can access them. I know you can make progress, and you are fine, because based on the starter activity that Redmenta has given to me, they're able to move forward. So it means that instant real-time data is allowing me to be able to focus on the children who need the help and the support to reintegrate them back into the lesson, and then get them moving forward and making the progress that they need to. So in terms of student voice and feedback, what did they say about Redmenta? Well, they said in terms of doing the quizzes, and remember when I said as part of that change, I focus narrow. I want to make sure that one idea sticks and do it really well. Redmenta's got all sorts of fantastical tools and things in it, but I want to do one thing and do it really well, so that means it's not overwhelming for me, and when I'm kind of time poor, I'm trying to implement a change which I'm going to make sustainable, do it really well, and spread that practice later. So with that, students said that it's really helpful for catch-up and maybe what we would call, teachers would call, retrieval activities, and kind of getting them to think about what they've learned maybe last week or last term or last year even. and to be able to do those with quick tasks. And other things is that, is helping them to build that long-term memory, very much an inspection focus in the UK. Our inspectorate Ofsted would talk about, our students, knowing and remembering and learning more overall. So it's been really helpful. So let's just hear from one of our students.
Redmenta has been super helpful for helping me develop my computer science skills while keeping it fun. My favourite feature of Redmenta is the interactive AI chatbot. It helps to deepen my understanding and also lets me explore topics that I'm curious about. I also like the instant feedback. It helps to let me learn from my mistakes.
So there are all sorts of fantastical tools, as I said, and this particular student likes using the chatbot, whereas I have been using, for instance, the assessments, and I thought, oh, there is a chatbot. So I added it into the worksheet, and it's just step by step, adding one thing each time and just seeing what happens and how does it land. This particular student liked the chatbot. Oh, great, well, we've got that feedback, we can move forward, start to embed it further. So it's all, I'm very much a pragmatist when it comes to kind of moving things forward in terms of my classroom and what students learn, and that's really important. So moving forward, in terms of staff feedback and colleagues that work, it's starting small scale. And if you're like me, who just kind of came along to the Bett conference and you're starting from ground zero as a teacher, and whether if you are an EdTech supplier yourselves, and a good portion of you are, is trying to understand where that teacher is, or that, the head teacher or the senior team, where are they at in terms of how comfortable they feel with change. So in terms of this journey, it's been small scale, it's been probably it's just at a pace which is comfortable and not too overwhelming. It's not something autocratic that I say, right, okay, every teacher is going to use Redmenta. Not every teacher will use Redmenta. It's not the appropriate AI tool at this moment in time. So I'm very much a pragmatist. It's about choosing when the right opportunity for learning is best addressed by using an AI tool and then modifying that accordingly. But so myself as part of the teachers in the computer science department, one colleague has said that it simplifies the marking process, and by taking those misconceptions and adding them into Redmenta, generating that quiz as a result that might have come out of the Google form originally, those questions can be, and answers can be copied and pasted into Redmenta to then create another quiz, which is absolutely fantastic and saves a lot of time. So another colleague who's the head of department, the head of computer science, has said it's great for making quick starters. So I've just given you one example, and as has Aggie, given you an example of a starter activity you might use Redmenta for. So in other departments, for example, in the science department, they said that it's very user-friendly and easy to navigate, which it is. And for me, I think, I don't know about you, but if it's a case of you get impatient for waiting 5 seconds for a web page to load up, then you obviously would kind of have a reaction in terms of how easy is a software to be able to use to have a higher adoption, because I've got to think about the worst possible case with a teacher as to how they're going to engage with a product. And then that means we know how high the adoption is going to be. So that generated feedback, and that was really helpful in terms of 6 markers. Those are 6-mark questions that students fill out, and maybe longer essays, etc., etc. And that was done in 20 minutes in science as opposed to a few hours. So it was reducing the workload quite significantly. So moving forward then, and it uses the good place to start, I think, if you're a teacher, is not all classes are going to have access to IT and laptops in the way that, for example, our school has, and we're quite privileged in a way. That's years of work to get to that stage. And it's to set it as a homework, because if students got their mobile devices or they've got access to laptops and computers at home, try it out as a homework first, and then that means any technical issues can be addressed from there. So just moving on in terms of time, so feedback in PE, for example, there was again having a matter of seconds in terms of having easy and accessible feedback, which was really helpful to this particular teacher. So I want you to just think about that, just kind of summing up really some impact examples of, we have students who are really engaged when they use Redmenta, and because they are able to log on, they're able to complete the quiz, they do it within 3 minutes or however long you set it, and then that means the timer, for example, builds in that engagement. A purposeful activity and learning is really helpful for students. In our computing department, because there's 3 of us, that means there's the practice that wasn't existing before was inconsistent, but now it's consistent because we can share the quizzes across each other, or we can share certainly the approaches if the questions and misconceptions are different from class to class. If we're all using Redmenta for a topic, then that obviously helps. My own class, GCSE, 25 students in Year 11 Computer Science achieved a Progress 8 score of 0.46, and what that actually means to you if you work in an international setting is that on average each student made half a grade higher than their expected progress in the class, and Redmenta contributed to that. So the average time saved in terms of the PE lessons or a set of marking was about 50%, so 1 hour to half an hour, and we said about the science examples having those 6-mark questions completed in 20 minutes when it would take them hours to do that. So I want you to think about, really, as I kind of look to wrap up, when we are thinking about AI solutions and implementing change, the best thing that I would probably advise is an AI solution is part of where is the pain? And actually, if you know where the pain is, then you will want the remedy. You will want to take action. You are compelled to action. You will make change happen, because that's where the teacher is at. That's the busy, time-poor teacher. They are at a place where, they'll only change something if it is actually kind of figuratively hurting, in the sense that it's taking too much time to do. Whether if it is in terms of reducing workload on marking, whether if it is making multiple choice quizzes that give feedback. That's what we're looking at. Where is the pain? And so it's aligning those priorities also with whatever the institution. I noticed walking around that colleagues are from further education, higher education, from colleges, in primary and secondary schools or prep schools, right across the independent or in the public sector and in state schools like myself. But it's aligning with what are the school priorities, and having the leadership backing is incredibly important. And I'm privileged to be in a position where I can have a say and support teachers in this way and get feedback from them. Pilot Redmenta on a small scale. If you're a teacher, do it for a homework. Then you don't have the technical issues that can occur if you've got a whole class of laptops and you're tearing your hair out as to what's happening. Set it as a homework, get the feedback from the kids, then try it again next time. Go and find the kid who's always so clever and 10 times better at IT and computing than you are, which I frequently have in my class, and go and ask them for the advice. And kind of you put yourself to one side and say, actually, that kid knows more than I do. They are in a position to help. So it's isolating one issue. Like I said, I looked at feedback quizzes. And we provide support. So Redmenta have a great support team. You can kind of message them on the chat, they will come back to you. You can find the Facebook community, you can find all sorts of things that can help and move things forward. And somebody somewhere is able to help. And measuring the impact, if you're implementing change as a head teacher or kind of as a senior leader, I've given you some examples. Okay, measuring impact is complexity. There's complexity with that. We can't say that Redmenta is absolutely everything with it, but you can say it's part of an overall strategy for making things like reducing teacher workload in terms of the hours and time spent to free it up for preparation in classes, or if it is contributing to department practice being consistent, and that wasn't happening before. Okay, so there's just a couple of examples. And finally, like I said, we listen to the students, listen to what their feedback is. They often come up with even more fantastic ideas than I ever will. And that's the kind of classroom, and I think this is the kind of classroom when Zoltan talks about having aspirational teachers. I think in some kind of way, I'm almost like a proud parent when I have a class of students who do really well in their examinations, or they do really well just because they're using computing in a really fantastic way as a result of Redmenta playing a part within that. So thank you very much for listening to me as a teacher. I'm going to hand back to Zoltan.